troxes, that's what they call it. These little sort of origami, modular origami figures, invented by Media Lab, MIT Media Lab. The guy who invented it came and had lunch with me one day at the New York Toy Fair. He showed me what they did, and I was so impressed he let me have the little bunch to take home and try out. They don't actually fold into themselves like that. That's not the idea. They have to have a partner. You've got to have two. They're very sociable. You get two pieces to join like that, and then, well, I'll show you in a minute how they fit together. But when they do fit together, if you have a minimum of 4 pieces, and there's only 2 here, the first thing you can make is called a tetrahedron. 3 little triangles meeting up at a triangular top with a triangular base as well. It looks very odd, because it's got all these sort of ins and outs and things, but it's got some very clever design features to it. If you get then another 4 pieces, you'll notice that the edge, top edge, has got 3 going around it like that. That's for the tetrahedron. If you have 4 going around in a circle, you have a octahedron, and that's got 8 of these triangles. If I'm getting really ambitious, I could actually, according to the instructions here, go to the next stage, which is an icosahedron. That needs 20 of them. So he's given me a good bunch of them. That's what they look like when they start. So I'm going to have a go, perhaps in a few days' time, to make the icosahedron difficult. The way of joining them together is ingenious, and then he showed me how you take it to a stage further. You've got these 3 little tabs in the middle. You've got this bit which you squeeze together, and those hooks, those little hooks there, just reach in and put that over there like that. And they fit into that funny little sort of vaguely oval-shaped piece until it clicks. There we are, and it clicks. And that's a perfect little join. It makes a sort of satisfactory click noise as it goes in. And then you do it as mates too, so that it makes a nice balanced pair. Put them gently into the little piece. Bring it up a bit. Click it in. Oops. Let's get my clicking technique correctly done. That's a bit rougher, but it's coming in. There we are. That's the first pair done, and you do that another 3 more times, and that's the first figure you make. So a very, very clever idea. To go one stage further, because he shows an extraordinary piece here amongst the projections, this one here, for that you have to do something else. You'll notice on the very edge of the piece there's a very, very small bit of a sort of L-shaped piece that comes out. You can see it here, it's actually sticking out. There's a little bit of L-shaped piece sticks out. What you do is, when you've got a figure like this and a figure like this, you get the 2 triangles, so this triangle goes into that space, and it just slots together very nicely with a bit of pushing, get the 2 apexes exactly on. There we are, that fits in together. Now with tweezers, I think you probably have to do, you get those little pieces to join in, and then the whole thing is a structural firm shape and keeps its shape, and you can lift it up, and I mean there's enough friction to hold it together, but it will come apart when I pull it. When the things are locked in, it'll keep it very, very secure. So there's a lot of fun you can do with these. The instructions are absolutely minimal. There is more on the website, but they've got a blank sheet, and that shows the method of joining it together. And I find that quite adequate to learn how to manipulate them, showing how to do it and how not to do it. The end result is going to be a wonderful range of geometrical toys or geometrical shapes, all made out of bits of cardboard. What an ingenious design. Troxes was a very nice find. All different colours, of course, but I chose orange. I like orange. So these are just a few more items I picked up at the New York Toy Fair. The next one actually wasn't at the Toy Fair, but this often happens when I'm both at Nuremberg and New York. I find things in the shops as well as in the town, as well as at the Toy Fair itself. And this was a nice Japanese shop where they're selling these little cute things saying, small, cute and alive. That's what it says, small, cute and alive. Well, it's a tiny little cacti, or at least one of them was, and something else, some other plant there. So you have to simply push it out of its little holder, and that's all you got. A tiny little, like a bell jar with a key fob. And the thing in there is live. It's got some sort of type of soil there which retains moisture. And every 4 weeks, if you're not using it, and the shop would have to do it as well, you have to put it in water. That's in water there for about 5 minutes, and it absorbs water into that basin, and then that's enough to keep it alive for another 4 weeks. So the shops have to do that regularly to keep their stock alive. I've just given one of these to my great niece. She was very pleased with it, a 22-year-old nurse, and she says, "Oh, it's alive." I gave one of these cactus versions of it. Just put that into water, give it 5 minutes. I've already put them in water when I came back from New York, but no harm to give them another bit of, in case they're thirsty. take them out, and they're kept alive. If you then start to look after them and put them in sunlight and let them grow, of course they'll fairly quickly outgrow this tiny little capsule, and you have to transplant them into a slightly bigger pot, and then a bigger pot, and then, well, perhaps they'll take over the whole house. I don't know, plants can do that sometimes. So that was a very nice find, but not at the toy fair, but at the shops going around it. Another item I've came across, which I'm very keen on, is bubble blowers, or bubbles as well. And I've got about 50 bubble blowers and about 3 or 4 different bubble types I've come across. This is a new bubble blower which I hadn't seen before, in the form of a wristwatch, which a small kid can wear on their wrist. And the bubble is one of those exotic ones which came out fairly recently, which is touchable bubbles. So when you blow them, it's actually a plastic compound, which they used originally, I think, for mothballing aircraft. The fuselage or wings were covered with this stuff too. But it behaves just like a bubble until you realise it actually will be touchable. Let's have a go. Take it out, blow it in the air. You have to let them in the air for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then with a bit of luck, I might be able to catch one on my finger. There we are. And that's the result. They're touchable. And oddly enough, when you do burst them, they don't burst instantly. They burst into a little shrivel of plastic. There we are, like that. Bit of plastic. Very strange. Kids love them. So that, with edible bubbles and something else, is 3 very interesting discoveries made with the actual bubble mixture. But that's a nice one. I like that. I should have more fun with that in summertime, I think. And this is not a standard bubble type of mixture, but it's a new designer bubble wand, which I'm looking forward to trying in summertime, when the weather's warmer. There's the mixture, all included. Squeeze it, and it opens up into a fan. That's a very sweet idea. And there's a little bubble wand. Each little hole there will hold the bubble solution. When you wave it in the air, like waving a fan to cool you down, bubbles will flow out either side of it. So for small kids, that's an absolutely charming design of a bubble wand. I think I was very pleased to get that, again, from the inventor, who describes his efforts in China to get the right sort of bubble mixture. A type of bubble wand that would be very tolerant of almost any bubble mixture. I think that'll work as well. So a good discovery. And the last item is a balloon that I had about 30 years ago, and it's finally come back again. I've been looking forward to this for ages. It was about, I think, in the late 80s, that in Taiwan, they suddenly came up with about 4 designs of balloons which did interesting things. And this is one of them. Can you see what's going to happen? I'm going to blow it up, but there's the exit is sort of at an angle, so it might spin. Do you think? Let's have a go. Put it on the table, clear everything away, all the debris, and see if we can make it take off. Wow, what a goodie. So that's what I found in New York, part 3.